Hello. Welcome to the Pinal County Community College District Governing Board meeting of February 24th, 2026. And this meeting is called to order. We will note that Dr. David Ordeon is tied up, so he couldn't be here, but the rest of the board is here in attendance, so we have a quorum. And Vice President Jerry Walker, will you please lead us in Pledge of Allegiance?
I will. If you are an honorably discharged veteran, you can render a hand salute like I do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next we have the adoption of the agenda. So do we have a motion to adopt the agenda? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second
Okay.
to adopt the agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we have call to the public. And please be aware that we have 3 minutes, and discussing and considering, the board is prohibited from discussing or considering action items raised during the call to the public. Individuals are limited to 3-minute presentation. And first on the list, we have Harold Christ. Harold, will you please come up to the podium, please? State your name and address, and welcome. The mic, yeah. Is the mic on?
Is that better? All right.
Yes.
Sorry. Harold Christ, 525 East Butte Avenue, Florence, Arizona. I'm here today for just a very special occasion. I was part of the search committee 10 years ago who was looking for a new president for Central Arizona College. And that was a very trying time for the college. Those of you who were around on that day know that we were going through a lot of very difficult situations. I had always had great admiration for the college itself. It was, someone once said that it's that city on a shining hill, and that's how I always saw that. It's just such a special place, and every time I go by, I think the same thing. I remember those times many years ago when I first saw it. I've been a developer and a builder in Pinal County for almost 50 years. I hate to admit that, but I had hair when I first got here, and not so much anymore, but we'll keep trying to do that as well. When I first met Dr. Elliott, and we had interviewed a whole series of people through that course of time, and I saw a lady who had real courage. This was someone who stood up, spoke her mind, did not back off from the questions and the situations that we put forth to her. And out of the candidates that were there, she stood out by far to being someone that I felt could lead this college into the generation that it was coming. And I believe that she's done that. There's great self-respect that she has, the spirit, her soul, her body exhibits what this college is really all about. And I think the destiny of the college rests on people like Dr. Elliott. And I'm just, I guess as I read things that go around, I'm reminded that those of us who live in a glass house should not be throwing rocks. And I would hope that you would take that into consideration as you go through the process that you're going through at this time. So I guess I just leave you with a couple of things. One, God bless you, Dr. Elliott, and God bless CAC. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next, we have Steve Hessler.
Good afternoon, board, administration, community. I'm Steve Hessler from Gold Canyon, 10299 East Second Water Trail. Ms. Elliott will be meeting with me tomorrow to discuss the budget. The first time an administrator has sat down since I've been requesting it for nearly a year. What I gleaned from that meeting, along with what I hear today, will be the basis of further questions to the board and administration. Although a short-term time frame to complete the budget, I'd like to remind everyone that most of the relevant questions have already been posed to the board and administration earlier, so the time crunch is one of their own making. As it turns out, the types of questions I raised are now being addressed in the state legislature regarding K through 12 education, and while community colleges may not be referenced in that legislation, it shows these types of questions are seen as relevant by others in the state. One bill limits administrative salaries to less than 40%. In this district, the number is about 50%. When I finally got the budget detailed that allowed me to ask what non-instructional managers were doing, I was refused the information and told that the level of my questions was unsustainable. There's another bill that says a district cannot issue new bonds for construction if more than 50% of their property is vacant. I've asked the district to look into this and at cost per campus to help assess this, and was told they don't know. With online enrollment now exceeding on-site enrollment, it would suggest that this could be a problem. Another bill addresses lumping issues together so the voters would have to approve bigger items to get the smaller ones they want, and to be more specific about where the money is going. Asking them to approve $100 million arts and conference center is different than asking them to approve technical trade facilities. My point is that I've been posting vital, not esoteric questions. I'll post more specific questions on my cacmonitor.com website so that the community can ask themselves if the proper questions are being asked. With the changes in personnel coming at both the presidential and CFO levels, I think it would be prudent to minimize fixed costs such as non-essential capital expenditures and fixed administrative salaries that do not feed directly into instruction. This will give the incoming administrators more latitude to move in the future. I'd still like to see the district have open budget meetings where they actively discuss the details at hand before the scheduled April 21st meeting. Would still like to see the public involved in the vetting of the new president, if only to ask questions. Neither of these actions are ones that other governments have not done in the past and do not need to wait until July. By doing so in the next few months, the board can send a signal to the public that we've begun a new era of transparency and accountability and respect for the stakeholders in Pinellas County. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have consideration of consent agenda. And the items on consent are A, board meeting minutes, January 20th, 2026, B, personnel report, and C, external funded budgets, fiscal year 25-26. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Made.
A second.
Second.
I have a motion second to adopt the consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, discussion, approval, disapproval of academic programs, human services, Amazon Web Services, commercial driver's license, Dr. Mary Kay. Hello. How are you, Mary?
Good afternoon, Board President Lopez, Dr. Elliott, members of the board, colleagues and guests. So I want to ask the board to consider 3 new academic programs. One of them is actually a certificate program for commercial driver's license, which we currently host at the college, but we are hosting it simply by renting space to a company who is running a private program. And it has been successful, and you know, this is something that's in demand. We would like to offer a credit version of this so that students can enroll in the college to take the courses and to leverage financial aid if they so wish to go about it with that academic credit, which would give them a leg up in other ways. The second one is a certificate program for Amazon Web Services, which actually only includes 1 new course, but is a repackaging of a small number of computer science classes that would allow students to be prepared for some of the jobs at Amazon that are in high demand. Short-term certificate, it's kind of a workforce program. And then the third one is a packaging of existing courses in the social behavioral sciences to gain a certificate in human services, which also would provide for entry-level work in behavioral science, human service, social work. This is a short-term certificate. It also could be combined with something with other degrees and give students that added recognition. So we would like to move forward with these if the board approves, and I am here to ask for you to consider that and to vote on it.
Yeah, thank you. I would comment that these are great programs to actually bring into the academic portion of the college, especially the commercial driver's license, CDL. That's really needed, and that would be great because then people can apply for student loan to pay for it and other things, and it's a great program. Anybody got any comments on the board? Yes.
Just another comment to add in that these 3 courses are part of a package that will meet workforce needs for all the various companies that are locating in Pinal County. Thought I'd throw that out there, reminder.
Any other comments? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? It's a commercial driver's license, the Amazon Web Services, and the Human Services Program.
So moved.
Have a motion, second to approve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Those opposed, motion carries. They're approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 7, discussion, approval, disapproval of Student Code of Conduct Policy. Dr. Jeannie Heath. Dr. Heath, welcome.
Well, hello. Good afternoon, President Lopez, governing board members, Dr. Elliott, colleagues, students, and guests. So the proposed revision to the Student Code of Conduct modernizes the standards of student behavior and aligns them with current federal, state, and accreditation requirements. This update represents the first substantial revision of the code in many years, and the Student Code of Conduct was initially presented to the governing board in November of 2025 at that board meeting, at which time the board requested revisions and additional content to be added. Because these changes were substantive, the updated code was shared again with the college community for feedback, which is part of the process, and then not completed in time for the January board meeting. So being that board policy allows a policy to be voted upon at first reading when circumstances require immediate action, it is proposed that the governing board consider the Student Code of Conduct as first reading with immediate action, allowing for a possible vote today. This request is made to ensure timely approval prior to publication of the 2026-27 college catalog and student handbook, which are both set to be released in April. My request supports operational timelines while still honoring transparency, community input, and the board's prior direction regarding revisions to the code. So I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Yes, Vice President.
Yes, exactly what policy is it that you want added to or taken from the current code of conduct? Be specific, please.
The Student Code of Conduct policy was included, I believe, in the packet. So it's a revision of the previous code of conduct that we had for students and has now been rewritten and updated.
Be specific, please.
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking for.
I'm specifically asking for what it is that you want added to or taken from the student code of conduct.
Okay, so there are specific items that have been added in based on regulatory changes around things like hazing or different code potential policy violations. It also updates the process for us so that student violates the Student Code of Conduct. We have the new and updated process that allows us to ensure that we're providing due process to students if they're going through some type of a disciplinary action.
That still doesn't answer my question.
Okay, it's a significant revision, so I'm not able to say in this moment exactly what the different lines are, but there is a copy provided in the packet.
Jerry, I think what happened last time is the policy that Jenny brought, that Dr. Heath brought, just had a purpose statement on it, and then Dr. Ordeon wanted more details, and Dr. Heath went and put in significant amount of details, more than just the purpose statement. So that's different from what you saw last time. And maybe we could talk offline too if there's more details that you want to know from there. But this is a significant revision from what was brought last time.
So this is like a first reading.
Well, typically we do a first reading. However, Dr. Heath had asked if we could do it a first reading and vote so it could be in the college catalog for students to have access to before the fall semester.
As long as we asterisk it and say possible revisions continue.
I think we could do that.
Okay.
We could always amend it if we had to. I mean,
It could go through
Yeah, I mean-
the
It
process
could-
again, sure.
This allows it to get in the catalog, and if we need to change it, to your point, we can bring it back to the board, change it, and then notify current students of the new code of conduct policy and to disregard the one that's in the catalog, but to go with the one that you or Dean Dave would email out to all the students, right? So, and I think we've done things like that before, especially maybe when academic policies or something of that changed mid-year, but notification would be made to students.
Well, it's important to get it in the catalog, so that's why we need
Correct,
to
yes.
act on it. So, any other questions?
No questions. I was just going to say thank you for going to the extra effort of including. This is a lot of detail that was now included versus what we saw in November. So thank you for that, and the whole college community for revisiting this, because it impacts every level of the students and the administration and everybody in between. Thank you for this was a lot. So this was very helpful.
Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
Oh, so moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Hey, motion is second to approve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, so that's approved. Number 8, discussion, approval, disapproval of guaranteed max price 1 early procurement, CAC Cultural and Performing Arts Center. So this is pretty exciting.
All right,
Welcome.
I'm back. Good afternoon, President Lopez, governing board members, Dr. Elliott, Mary Lou, staff, and guests. This is in regard to the Cultural Arts Performing Center at the Signal Peak campus, also referred to as the CPAC. To maintain the proposed construction schedule and meet the substantial completion progression with the design build proposes an early procurement of items that form the critical path of the schedule. This package includes demolition, make-ready, underground infrastructure, foundations, superstructure, and long lead items. An early release for the GMP will be critical not only from a schedule standpoint, but also reduces the current uncertainty in the construction market with price fluctuations and possible escalation risks by locking in material supply with the various associated suppliers. It is proposed that the Board of Governors approve the guaranteed maximum early procurement. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
No.
I saw some work out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it's great.
I mean, like dirt work.
No questions, so do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, I propose that the Board of Governors approve the guaranteed maximum price 1 early procurement.
Do I have a second?
Second?
A motion is second to approve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. It's approved. Thank you. All right, next, number 9, first reading policy academic prior learning assessment. Dr. Mary Kay.
Good afternoon again, Board President Lopez, members of the board, Dr. Elliott, colleagues and guests. This is actually a revised policy, but so effectively a new policy for awarding credit for prior learning. We currently have one, but this is one that will expand what we will award in terms of prior learning. It's a first reading, so there's no action at this point. The policy is in your board packet, along with a copy of the procedure for additional context. But I'll just say briefly that what we are adding is expanding the ability to award credit for non-college training, but that training would be nationally or industry recognized in a very solid way, and it would be up to the individual divisions to work with the registrar in the college to award that credit. So for first responder training and various kinds of things like that. They would be very specific things, and then we would be able to accept those in for partial credit towards a degree. So this is just a first reading, and I don't need to ask for anything else at this point.
Okay, any questions?
But yes, I am here for questions.
Any questions?
Well, I was just going to note that it fulfills a requirement by the Higher Learning Commission.
Yes, it does. They asked us to incorporate our prior learning along with the transfer policy, which we are including in our upcoming report.
Well, this really opens up the door for many of our new residents, too, in Pinal County, to use knowledge they already possess, and skill sets possess.
Here, here. Here.
See,
Any other
Vice
questions
President Walker
or
supports.
comments?
Any other comments? We're good? Okay.
All
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank
First read,
you.
no action
And
required.
the second
so
reading will come next time around. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good. Now we have number 10, reports. Report from College President, Dr. Elliott.
Good afternoon, President Lopez, governing board members, Mary Lou, faculty, staff, and guests. I have a long update today, so I'm going to apologize for the length, but as you know, the legislature just has started their session, and there's lots of bills to go over when I get to that part. However, I want to start off with extending a huge thank you to Dr. Gilliland and her team for the work that's been done for the Higher Learning Commission, and you'll understand why when I share with you the progress we've made so far. Just last week, HLC approved the Associate of Applied Science in Plumbing, including a plumbing certificate. The AAS in plumbing is made up of 2 stackable certificates, which can be taken individually or stacked together for the full AAS, which gives students options and opportunities. Submitted but not yet approved is an Associate of Science in HVAC, also again with 2 stackable certificates. Submitted and waiting for a site visit. In fact, I had a lovely visit yesterday with the team chair for our bachelor's in nursing. The site visit will be later in March, March 23rd. For the RN to BSN, our own RN students can apply to continue on, but others with an RN degree can also apply to the program. And this will be approved, hopefully, and can begin in the fall of 2026. And the RN to BSN will be fully online. And then, so those are in the pipeline, and then obviously the ones that you approved today will be next. So thank you for the approval of those. And next, I'd like to invite Dr. Parker up, our new Vice President of Academic Affairs, to give a little introduction of himself.
Good afternoon, Board Chair Lopez, members of the board, President Elliott, Mary Lou.
Maybe the mic, I don't know if it's...
Not easy for somebody who's
There you
tall
go.
like me. So hopefully this works. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, as Dr. Elliott said, my name is Michael Parker. We got an opportunity to meet briefly at lunch today. I began working for the college on February 2nd and concluded a 15-year tenure at Pima Community College down the road the previous Friday. I've been spending my time getting familiar with everybody on campus, getting to know my team, getting to know other people, and reading every document I can, getting my sea legs. And Board Member Walker, I hope you appreciate that. Anyhow, that's what I've been doing for these past 3 weeks now, and I'm looking very much forward to continuing my work and fulfilling the mission, ensuring that academic affairs is fulfilling the mission of the district. So, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful having you. Any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now I will continue on with the legislative part of my report. The first is House Bill 2050 on radiology technologists, and it modifies statutes governing radiology technology licensing for schools and individuals by expanding acceptable school accreditations, revising required coursework, changing required clinical hours, and aligning examination content with national standards. And as you know, we do have a radiology technology program, so this could impact our program. It has passed the House. The next is House Bill 2060, Educational Facilities, Abortion, and Prohibited Activities. It prohibits public educational institutions, which includes community colleges and their employees, when acting in an official capacity from encouraging or facilitating abortions. That has passed the House. House Bill 2086, Vaccination Mandates, Masks, Prohibition. Prohibits governmental entities from requiring residents to wear masks or face coverings except for long-standing workplace safety and infection control measures unrelated to COVID-19. Prohibits governmental entities from requiring residents to receive any vaccination or disease for any disease or virus, and prohibits businesses from requiring masks or vaccinations as a condition of entry or employment. And this is waiting a committee. House Bill 2110, School Governing Boards, requires the governing body of a public school or public educational institution to allow a member to pray during a meeting of all the governing of the governing body if the member requests to do so. It has passed the House Education Committee. House Bill 2233, Rural Health Transformation Monies, establishes the Arizona Rural Health Transformation Fund to be administered by AHCCCS to manage funds received by the Rural Health Transformation Grant, and requires AHCCS to hold 3 public meetings in northern, central, and southern Arizona to receive input and feedback on how to spend the funds. It's awaiting rules right now. House Bill 2236, Appropriation Northeast Arizona Training Center. It appropriates $4.3 million from the state general fund to the Navajo County Community College District for capital improvements to the Northeast Arizona Training Center operated by Northland Pioneer College. And this has passed and is waiting for House appropriations. House Bill 2240, Tuition Waiver, Children, Veterans, and Disabilities, expands eligibility for tuition waiver scholarships to include children or dependents of a member or former member of the United States Armed Forces with a disability rating of 30% or more, as determined by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, and requires the Arizona Board of Regents and community college districts to provide tuition waivers to eligible children or dependents who meet age, felony admission, and credit hour limits. This is also awaiting rules. House Bill 2255, Teachers Academy Community College Student, expands the Teachers Academy Scholarship for community college students to cover up to 4 academic years or 8 semesters instead of 2 academic years or 4 semesters. Because this statute is voter protected, this bill does require 3/4 votes of the members of each house of the legislation to pass, and it's awaiting rules as well. House Bill 2409, Artificial Intelligence, establishes the Arizona Artificial Intelligence Education Program within the Arizona Department of Education, and it authorizes public schools, universities, and community colleges to award academic credit for course completion and allow public entities to provide facilities for uncompensated use. And it's a waiting committee as well. House Bill 2575, Anti-Semitism, prohibits public schools, teachers, administrators, contractors, and volunteers from teaching or promoting or funding anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic conduct that constitutes harassment or discrimination and creates a hostile educational environment, and it's waiting for committee as well. House Bill 2805, Electronic Signatures, requires the Secretary of State to provide a secure online system for qualified electors to sign nomination petitions for candidates for school district, career and technical education districts, community college districts, hospital districts, and multi-county water conservation district governing boards. And this is also waiting committee. I'm almost done, sorry, hang in there. House Bill 2876, Public Bodies, requires a public body to place any proposal to impose or increase a tax rate, assessment, or fee on an action agenda. And this is also waiting committee. Senate Bill 1013, Public Employees, prohibits the state and political subdivisions from adopting hiring policies or practices that base employment on decisions or anything other than the applicant's merit, and bars efforts to manipulate or influence workforce compensation by race, ethnicity, sex, or national origin, except as needed to ensure compliance with anti-discrimination laws. And this has passed the Senate as well. Senate Bill 1068, Disruption, Educational Institution, Concealed Weapon. We've seen this one before, requires community colleges to allow an individual with a concealed carry permit to carry on campus. It has passed the Senate and is waiting for committee. Senate Bill 1423, WICHE, the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education is continued 10 years to July 1, 2036. And this is the WICHE rate. If you know this, it's allowing reduced tuition for people in the states that participate in this consortium. So this could be a really good thing for us, and this is waiting committee as well. I'm happy to answer any questions if you may have any, but it's a lot, and again, the session has just kind of gotten underway, so hopefully as we move through the semester, the list will get a little shorter.
Any questions of all the bills? I know there's over almost 2,000 bills that are tracking, and I know the Arizona League is looking at about 400 of them. And so the top priority ones are the ones you read, so for the school. So it's there's quite a bit. No questions? Okay, we'll move forward.
The next thing is I'm going to ask Miranda Myers to come up and give us a little update on our audit. As you know, we've had a little bit of a hiccup, but Miranda and her team are on it, but she wanted to kind of, since we got the notice, give you kind of an update and share with you what's going on with the audit.
Welcome.
Hi there. Good afternoon, President Lopez, governing board members, Dr. Elliott, Mary Lou, guests. My name is Miranda Myers. I'm the comptroller in the finance department, sorry. I am in charge of the audit, our annual audits every year. For this last year, you guys were notified that our fiscal year in 24-25 audit will not be issued by March 31st of 2026. This is due to the various circumstances involving the finance department since August of 2025. My team and I have been working really hard to try to get information and documentation turned over to the Auditor General, but unfortunately we have not, due to time constraints and trying to maintain internal controls and keep up with our other regular duties and any potential or any crises that have come up since then. We've been unable to get the Auditor General documentation as timely as we would have liked. But I will say we are out about 2 weeks from getting the Auditor General drafted financial statements. Once those financial statements are submitted to the Auditor General, the process to finish out the audit takes anywhere from 1 to 2 months. And once that has been completed and we are issued, the Auditor General will actually come to the board meeting, as they usually do, and present our financial statements to everybody. I believe... And that is everything I have. Like I said, we are sitting at about a time frame to get the Auditor General the financial statements by about the second week in March.
Great.
Do you have any questions
Thank
for
you
me?
for the explanation. Questions, please, from the board.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the
Thank you,
explanation.
Miranda. The next item on my agenda, I think we have a video that we're going to show, but last week I was invited to the rural, okay, I forget what it's called here. I want to get it right. The Rural Economic Development Committee for the House of Representatives, Arizona House of Representatives, to receive a proclamation that we'll have President Lopez read after the video.
Pinal County has experienced remarkable transformation over the past decade. The county is now recognized as one of Arizona's most dynamic growth regions.
The change in Pinal County has been especially striking. In my 10 years specifically living in Casa Grande, I've seen the city transform from largely a rural community into a vibrant economic hub.
Pinal County offers something rare. We have strategic geography between two major metros, available land, expanding infrastructure, strong community leadership, and an education system that is responsive and committed to partnership.
Lucid's decision to expand in Arizona was a huge win for our state. After a nationwide search evaluating 13 states and 60 sites, Lucid selected Arizona for its record investment.
Lucid stands as one of the greatest Arizona rural investment success stories. We're proud that Lucid is helping shape the next chapter in Arizona's history and the positive impact we have had on the Casa Grande community.
The ACA worked hand in hand with Lucid, Central Arizona College, Pinal County, and the city of Casa Grande to design hands-on training that meets real-world manufacturing needs and gives students the skills needed to step directly into high-demand jobs.
I definitely feel fulfilled coming home, you know, like that I've done something at work rather than just clocking in and clocking out.
Previously, there was not a large talent pipeline trained for specifically advanced EV manufacturing. Drive 48 brought together Lucid, the Arizona Commerce Authority, and Central Arizona College to change that. The result is a highly skilled workforce that not only supports Lucid's success, but also strengthens Arizona's growing manufacturing ecosystem. These participants now have capabilities that can take them anywhere in the industry.
Pinal County is redefining what rural economic leadership looks like in Arizona, and at Central Arizona College, we are committed to providing that leadership and partnership needed to support that progress. With aligned investment in workforce, infrastructure, and industry collaboration, rural Arizona is positioned to help shape the next chapter of growth in this state.
What makes Pinal County great for any business is because it combines good people with good policy. Local leaders focus on facilitating growth and actively supporting economic development. It's a community that wants employers and their employees to succeed and is willing to roll up its sleeves to make it happen.
Today, Pinal County is attracting industries that define the future. Under the BEAD program, Pinal County will receive $90 million to expand high-speed broadband infrastructure, connecting Arizonans to new opportunities and giving businesses the tools to compete globally. Electric vehicles, batteries, semiconductors, and advanced manufacturing, fueling economic opportunity and positioning the county as a key driver of Arizona's competitiveness.
That's great. Okay, I'll now read the proclamation recognizing Central Arizona College. Whereas Central Arizona College has long served as a cornerstone institution for higher education and workforce development in Pinal County, providing accessible, affordable, and high-quality educational opportunities for residents across the region, and whereas Central Arizona College plays a critical role in preparing students for careers in high-demand fields, including skilled trades, healthcare, public safety, agriculture, and advanced manufacturing, strengthening the local workforce and supporting regional employers. And whereas through academic programs, career and technical education, and partnerships with industry and local governments, the college contributes directly to economic growth, long-term community prosperity through rural Arizona. And whereas the institution serves as an engine of opportunity by supporting first-generation college students, adult learners, and workforce retraining efforts, helping residents gain skills necessary to succeed in a rapidly evolving economy. And whereas Central Arizona College's presence generates significant economic activity through employment, student spending, community partnerships, and development of highly trained workforce that attracts and retains business investment in Pinal County. And whereas the continued success of rural communities depends on strong educational institutions that foster innovation, workforce readiness, and economic resilience. Now, therefore, we, Representative Martinez, Chairman and Vice Chair Chris Lopez of the Rural Economic Development Committee of Arizona House of Representatives, do hereby recognize and commend Central Arizona College for its lasting and meaningful contribution to economic development in Pinal County and for its dedication to advancing education, workforce preparedness, and opportunity across rural Arizona. In witness thereto, we hereunto set our hands to this 29th day of February 2026. Representative Martinez, Chairman, Rural Economic Development Committee, Arizona House of Representatives, and Vice Chairman Chris Lopez, Rural Economic Development Committee, Arizona House of Representatives. And I just want to state they really go out of their way to help Pinal County, and they do a great job along with Senator T.J. Shope, and we really appreciate all their efforts. And I know I text these representatives daily sometimes on some bills that we need help on, so they're very responsive. So it's great. Thank you.
And one last thing, miscellaneous. If you are looking for something exciting to do this Friday that supports our students, it is our annual foundation fundraiser, Night of Stars at Harrah's Auction. It starts at 6 o'clock. I did talk with Craig yesterday, and there are a few seats left. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, please do so now because it benefits our students. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great event. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do. It's really good. Let's see. So next we have number 11, Business Affairs Report. Michelle Clapp. Miranda?
Yeah. Sorry that we had to reschedule. I was actually delegated to present the monthly board report this month. But good afternoon, board members, President Elliott, Mary Lou, community. So for the monthly budget report, you will see in your packet that it reflects the year-to-date numbers for December of 2025. This shows that the district's operating fund expenditures were at 46.78% of the total budget, and this would be an increase of 2.67% from December of 2024, which was 44.11%. Do you guys have any questions on that?
Any questions on percentage of expenditures? Okay.
Perfect. And then the next one I have is the awarded bids over 100,000, and we had 3 bids awarded over 100,000. Do you have any questions concerning those?
Any questions? 3 items are listed. No, you're good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, next we have number 12, widely important goals and outcomes progress report. Dr. Elliott.
So I don't know if Dr. Heath, you want to introduce your group, because they're both student services areas, the student experience areas that are going to present today. So, or what did you delegate?
All right, so the first group that we have that's coming up is in our in our enrollment services area. So Dean Andy Long, who is our Dean for Enrollment Services, and then our 3 student services directors, Kimberly Elliott, who is at the Superstition Mountain campus, Maria Munoz, who is at the Santan campus, and Irene Esquivel, who is director at the Maricopa campus. So come on up.
Good afternoon, Board President Lopez, board members, President Elliott, Mary Lou, faculty, staff, and guests in attendance. Today, we're sharing how 3 enrollment centers used a focused, data-driven approach to increase student enrollment and persistence 1 campus at a time. The district set a wildly important goal to improve first to second term persistence for new students. At the outlying campuses, our enrollment centers, which bring together staff from admissions and registration, advising, and student accounts, recognized that we could play a direct role in advancing that goal. We established campus-level targets to support it. Each campus then analyzed its local data and developed strategies tailored to its unique students. Today, we'll share how that approach played out across 3 campuses. Each campus student service director reviewed local data and set a realistic, yet challenging semester-to-semester goal. These targets were based on each campus's trends and opportunities for growth, and they were developed with staff input so teams felt ownership of the outcomes. After reviewing the data, we set our fall 2025 goals. Maricopa and Santan aimed for a 10% increase in enrollment, and Superstition Mountain aimed for 11.5%. For Maricopa and Superstition Mountain, these targets excluded dual enrollment students and focused on traditional student growth. To reach our goals, each campus used strategies that fit its environment. To explain Maricopa's approach, I'll turn it over to Irene.
Hi. At the Maricopa campus, what we've created is a one-stop shop. And what that means is anytime a student walks into the campus, what we do is we start asking them questions to find out where they are in the process. So if a student tells us, oh, I'm looking for financial aid to pay for my classes, we go and help them to go through the financial aid process. If their parent is with them, we help them as well. If a student comes in and says, we've been trying to set up a payment plan, but it's not working and we can't do it, we help them do that as well. We also make sure that they understand how to get into their student portal and also get into their email, because that's very important. We also double check and make sure that they know how to order their books. Because at the Maricopa campus, we want to make sure everything is completed before they start class, so all they have to do is worry about class. The second thing is I do call campaigns. So when I do a call campaign, I'll pull up a report, let's say financial aid. If a student's been flagged for financial aid and they want to use financial aid, I'm checking to see if that's been completed. If it hasn't, I'm calling that student to find out why they haven't, do they need help, and I'm having them come to the campus so we can assist with that. We also have the drop deadline. So I pulled up a report for that. I call students all the way up to start of class. So if a student needs help with having to pay for class, I'm showing them how to do that to make sure that None of our students at Maricopa get dropped just because of payment, just because they didn't know how to do that. So that's what we do at the Maricopa campus, and now I'll pass it off to Maria.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Munoz. I'm the Student Services Director here for the Santa campus. Some of the key points that we have focused here at the Santa campus is we obviously participate in the call campaign. Another strategy, what we are practicing currently is we're trying to really handhold students who are lost in navigating our system. As most of you know, transitioning back from COVID, everything has been pushed online. There's still some students that get lost with online services. So we have found that if we do not address them or handhold them through the whole entire process, we lose them. So with the assistance of the staff, we try to help identify students that are having trouble navigating our system, even just our terminology in general. And we try to handhold them, and if that means that they're going to be spending a little bit more time because they've connected with a staff member, then I try my best to help support our team so they're allowed to mentor that student until the student feels comfortable with the information they received. So we're trying to really connect with students, residents, community members that are coming in to help mentor them through our process, educate them on our processes and where they can now find them online. So in relation, this process really affects all of our departments across the student services, just so we can help mentor the students and navigate them through our whole process here at CAC in hopes that they're successful. So I'm gonna just leave with that and introduce Kim with the next.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. At Superstition Mountain, we centered on our work on a proactive outreach and thoughtful data review. Rather than waiting for students to come to us, we reached out during weeks 3 and 4 to see how their first semester was going and to address any challenges early on. Later in the term, we followed up again to reinforce the importance of registering early for the next semester. Behind the scenes, we also examined the data on students who didn't return. That analysis helped us identify trends and refine how and when to intervene. Here, you can see the results of our combined efforts. Each campus not only met its fall goals for both enrollment and persistence, but exceeded it. Building on that momentum, we reviewed the data again and set new goals for spring 2026. Although our fall results were strong, spring 2026 produced varied outcomes. That prompted us to reflect. It showed us that some goals may have been too ambitious and that strategies for enrollment growth don't always translate directly to persistence. As a result, we are still refining both our targets and our approach. The good news is that we have already met the district's wildly important goal of 62% by 2026. Our focus now turns to the next milestone, which is 70% persistence by 2027. We will continue using campus-level data and strong staff engagement to move us toward that goal. We can open for questions if anyone has any.
Any questions from the board or comments?
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely, all of you.
Thank you.
Great job.
All right, next up we have student development. So our Dean, Dave Leanhoutz, will be presenting today. Do you have anybody presenting with you? You taking the whole show?
I'm gonna do this.
All right, so Dean Dave Leanhoutz.
Thank you, Dr. Heath. Board President Lopez, board members, Dr. Elliott, Mary Lou, distinguished colleagues and welcome guests, it's my pleasure to talk to you this afternoon a little bit about what's been going on in student development. We drove a new orientation program which was started before the WIG, but we picked up on it. The rest of my team, unfortunately, there is a very large Black History Month celebration event going on at the Signal Peak campus. Every one of them is involved in the delivery of that program this afternoon, so that's where the rest of my crew is right now. I did not do this as a solo act. All the work you're about to see absolutely took a village to get done. The folks that just were up here, our student services directors, were absolutely integral into making this orientation program work at their campuses, as well as scores of other folks that came in, not the least of which was Dr. Fakosh's PTK folks that first year, the support we received from the academics, and some of the other administrative staff. But without further ado, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what happened with new student orientation. Student development is residence life, accessibility services, student life, and the TRIO grant programs. Athletics recently joined our team, but we are going to integrate them next year into the orientation program. Moving forward, we asked ourselves this question: how can student development increase new student persistence? Those students that come to us that were not dual credit, that aren't transfer, that are brand new, they've never been to college before, they haven't done this before. We know they are most at risk to fall out. The research has been pretty clear on that over the years, whether it's going back to Alexander Aston and his early studies, all the way forward to the research that's come out of Austin and the Center for Community College Student Engagement, as well as the Columbia Center for Community College Community Colleges. We know that the biggest thing that impacts students that are coming right out of the box is early connections, early contacts. Students that do everything online and deal with emails and occasionally a Zoom meeting, we understand that might be a new norm for some of those folks, but for an awful lot of them, they're seeing much more need for interaction with each other, as well as interaction with the staff face to face. We know that we set the tone the minute a student comes to campus and we ask them to be there. We can engage them not only in the instructional process, but in the learning community in an intentional fashion. So what did we do? In the fall of 2024, before all the WIG excitement started, we ran orientation programs at all campuses. We had 432 students appear with about 190 guests. That means they brought their families, they brought their parents, they brought their children, their grandparents. It became a family event all the way around. Meanwhile, the TRIO Bridge program, which has been in place for decades, had another 37 students. We know that 37 of those students in the TRIO Bridge program, while that was on the standalone program, many of them brought their families and friends to our orientation, but we didn't count them twice. We learned our lesson that if we were intentionally focused, we could have an amazing program that was available. Our rough estimates indicate that just over 70% of those 432 students came back spring semester for the fall. We made a commitment when we were challenged when the WIG process came out with strategic alignment. We set a goal for ourselves that 90% of all those first-time in college students would complete an orientation experience prior to the first day of classes. It was ambitious, but we thought it was doable. So we launched a more strategic and significant program this past fall. We set our goal for ourselves to work our way up to 90%, and this year we engaged 65%, then 77%, and then 90%. Well, we went out and did the best we could. We created an online experience in Blackboard for a lot of our students because one of our biggest campuses is the virtual campus. We didn't want those students to try and navigate college without some sort of interaction, as well as an extreme enhancement of our in-person program. That not only did we have the usual folks participating, but we were blessed to have our Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Elliott, give the welcome at those programs in person as well. And again, thank you much, Dr. Elliott, for appearing to those. This past fall, we targeted 1,416 students. These are students that are first time in college. They weren't in high school, they didn't transfer, they had no previous credit, they were not a part of our incarceration population or anything like that. These are fresh out of the box. I've never had a college experience before. We estimate there was 1,416 of those students last fall. We engaged 530 of those students in person, 334 in an online experience, and 17 of those students opted just to stay in Bridge and didn't make it to a program. We went up 23% over the previous fall. Likewise, our preliminary investigations result that out of those unique 881 contacts, again, we think about 70% plus of those students were back this spring, based on my work when we were working in Zogotech. Unfortunately, we fell short of our goal of 65% last fall, and we only engaged 62%. However, the research and the evaluation of the program indicated we found some pockets of students that we couldn't figure out who was missing. Unfortunately, if you can believe this, we found it was our residence life population and our student athletes. Goodness gracious, who do those departments report to? None other than the dean that's standing in front of you right now. Hold my feet to the fire. I'm going to get there, and we're going to get those people engaged next fall. We think we're going to have no problem making sure that our residence hall students, all of them that are first time in college, as well as our student athletes, are engaged in online or in-person orientation experience prior to the first day of class. I can just about make sure I'm going to make those goals next year. Moving forward, we always, because assessment, and we'll talk about that in a second, it should always be on everyone's mind. We evaluated and asked everybody what you thought of the program when you showed up. In general, we had a Likert scale of about 9 to 10 items every time. We found out that our families, which would be now the parents, but the husbands, the wives, the sisters, all those people they brought along, they really were engaged with it. They strongly agreed that we were doing the right thing and helping them. We know from the research that those 14, 16 students, that population is much more likely to go to these people than us as a first line of what do I do about college. I was blessed to have a partner in delivering of these programs, and that was Senior Dean over here, Andy Long of Enrollment, who came with me, and we presented the programs to the family and support people. He was marvelous. We were a great pair. We worked together on this and spread a lot of information, and apparently we are a hit and a success, and you're renewed for another year to do this with me. But moving forward, we know that this program could only get better that way, because we know that those folks that call us, email us with generic questions, those are the people that our students are asking questions of. We know the more information we give them, we have a partner, not a helicopter, not a snowplow, but we have a partner in these family and support people. And that's what we want to make sure student success happens. Our students felt the same way. While not quite as enthusiastic, they still showed enthusiasm regarding the program itself, feeling more prepared to go to college, feeling more ready to take on the challenges that being a college student would be. Because we know college is a different animal when compared with high school or any previous education or training they had. Now again, remember, we're talking about students that have not had that early college or high school experience, and there's that many of them. We also learned from program assessment a couple things that need to come to fruition. An administrative master syllabus was clearly developed for orientation, and it links to the college's common student learning outcomes. It will also be a part of the co-curricular assessment document that was submitted in our response to HLC comments on our assurance arguments. When that program, that section of that report was rewritten, we included all the aspects of new student orientation to let the folks know at HLC, we are doing assessment. It is about student learning. We do care, and we are making changes based on that information. I feel very comfortable that that co-curricular section is going to pass with flying colors. I have a good input from my Vice President of Academic Affairs that she liked it, so that's always a good sign. As we move forward, we know in the future we've got some comments and some changes to make. We'll be formatting this program this fall. We're going to start much earlier. Our students that did not participate out of those 14, 16, we know we need to start earlier, and we know we need to not have such big groups. They want to work in smaller groups with us. We'll start in July and reformat the program. We'll make sure we reach those students earlier after their registrations and advisements so we can give them the tools they need. For those people who are eager to get at it, we'll say this is what you can do to get better and make sure what's going on. We know comments from the Blackboard program indicates that we need to produce, and we will, a live online program for those students as they move forward. We've already begun drafting the scripts, moving forward, and we'll make that go on. And finally, because that residence hall life is so problematic to me, every time a student moves into those residence halls moving forward, or a student becomes a part of our student athlete program, they are going to participate in an orientation program to make sure they are not left out. Moving forward, I believe that we have one of the many pillars that's going to be needed for success for our students to reach our goal, to reach our WIG of 70% in 2 years. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate that. Any questions?
Thank you and your team for all your hard work. Questions, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Okay, next we have call to the board. And I'll start with Board Member Sheila Mueling.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I watched the ladies play out on the ice at the Olympics, and I was so proud of them. They worked hard, but we kind of knew they were going to win. They were a pretty good team. And they stood together arm in arm, and they sang the national anthem, and it was wonderful. So Sunday morning, I'm thinking, you know, I want the guys to win, but there's a side of me that said, I don't know if that's going to happen. But at 9:07, I was standing there like a kid, jumping up and down as we had a goal, the one goal we needed to win the gold. So a toothless young man, who I'm sure his mother was crying about the dental bill she'd paid, and a goalie that stopped an amazing number of pucks coming to goal. It was a feel-good time for America. And there were no Republicans, there were no Democrats, there were no liberals, there were no conservatives. It was America, and it was wonderful.
Great. Thank you.
Bravo. Thanks.
Board Member Kasuga.
Thanks, Sheila. Kind of along those same lines. I was honored at the late January to be part of the CAC table at the Casa Grande Chamber of Commerce annual banquet. And the new chair of the board, who is sitting among, is our own Dean Andrew Long. And we were so, let's applaud that, yes. So not only did he get bestowed that new title, he also made a rousing acceptance speech. And along with that, was able to squeeze in a shout out to CAC and what a valuable asset that we are to this entire county. So Andrew, thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Vice President Walker.
The only thing that I want to bring to your attention is that I have been campaigning among our other board members for some additional construction in the Apache Junction College campus. And I believe that in order to sell education, you have to have a sales tool. And we need to sell education in Apache Junction. And the best way to do that is to have more people on our campus. We have to have people on the campus for any number of reasons. And an amphitheater would be a perfect way to get people to come onto our campus. We have lots of really nice facilities there. We have the Medical Allied Science Training Facility that's absolutely, it's the most beautiful place I've seen in a long time. My wife, who has a master's degree in nursing, looked at it with me, and she's dumbfounded by it. She loved it. The workforce development program is absolutely essential. And the more we do for workforce development, the better the chance is that there'll be more people who will continue to work toward more academic achievements. In order to get people to see those things, we need to get them on the campus. One of the ways to do that is community theater. We can have community theater if we have an amphitheater. Public speaking, absolutely essential to the development of education. The more we get people talking about it in a public venue, the better chance there is that we will sell education to people who sorely need the experience. Whether they choose to go into an academic career or not, we need to make the effort necessary to recruit them to look at the possibility of doing something other than just sitting around smoking dope and doing whatever else they want to do. I really appreciate Ms. Clapp, who visited with me and gave me the information I needed to understand that the money is definitely available to do this. And I truly appreciate everything that everybody's done to date. We need to get more support for it, and we need to get the item on an agenda so that we can vote for it. Thank you so much for your time. And in conclusion, I'll say thank you, Lord, for your presence here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. For myself, I'm really excited and looking forward to the building. It's being built down at Signal Peak. It's with it, replacing the Penn Center, so that's really exciting. And also, I'm really glad we approved the three new curriculum, and I think they're going to really help and all the workforce development and everything else we're doing. So with that, we're going to go into executive session now, item number 14. So give everybody some time to get out of the building. If anybody needs to take a short break. Yes, we make a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I move that the Board of Governors move into executive session.
Have a second? Have motion second to go into executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We're in executive session. Thank you all. Okay, are we ready? Okay, I need a motion to get out of executive session.
So moved.
I need a second. Okay, motion second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries it out of executive session. So next item is item number 15, discussion, approval, disapproval of acceptance of CAC President Notice of Retirement. I have a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
it's with very mixed emotions that I move that the CAC Governing Board accept the President Dr. Jackie Elliott's Notice of Retirement with an end date of July 9th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have motion and a second to accept the CAC President's Notice of Retirement. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 16, discussion, approval, disapproval of initiating a recruitment effort for the succeeding CAC President. Do I have a motion?
So made.
I move that we initiate the recruitment process for the succeeding CAC president by directing our board president, Gilbert Lopez, to contact the Association of Community College Trustees for a search consultant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Well, with that, we declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.